Brandon.
Yeah. Mm.
And he's like, I have to connect you with people. I'm like, okay.
That's awesome. Yeah. Sorry, just trying to paste something into a thing that's not pasting. Okay. Hello, everybody. Sorry for the moment or two. So glad everybody's here, and I wanted to start with a couple of announcements. And we've got the folks here from WFC, Washington Food Coalition. Yay, we're very excited to welcome you. They'll be sharing about how to connect to resources in your community and the work they do supporting hunger relief organizations across Washington state. It's a great opportunity for Washington Gleaning Network folks to learn more about Washington Food Coalition and their broader emergency food network that we're all part of. So feel free to drop your name and organization in the chat. I will turn it over to them for introductions here in just a sec. But a couple of quick announcements. So there is a big glean coming up, collaborative glean coming up in June. We'll be at Oxbow Farm, and I'll post some things in the chat here. Why is it not working? Oh no, it's not working. Okay, I will send out a follow-up email on that with all those details. But we'll be harvesting seasonal produce that's kind of ripe and ready at Oxbow Farm in Carnation, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. June 8th. They have ample parking, picnic tables, porta potties. Gleaning programs will be able to take food back to their own organization. So it kind of checks a lot of boxes as an opportunity for a big collaborative event and to be in the field with each other at the same time. And other gleaning opportunities are in the works. So keep an eye out. We'll be posting stuff on, through email, through our newsletter, through website, social media, and so on. The next announcement is our next meeting will be in July with CARET, C-A-R-E-I-T. If some of you probably are somewhat familiar with it, it's an online platform for food rescue and donation. So more details to come on that. Again, via email, newsletter, website, and social media. With that, I will go ahead and turn it over to the folks from WFC to take it away.
Thanks, Sarah. I'm going to share my screen, and I think Andra's going to kick us off.
I'm sorry. Text messages are coming in, so I'll turn that off.
Well, don't want to start with thank you and questions.
Start from the beginning, yeah. Now you saw the whole thing from we're done. Good morning, everybody. And it's super exciting to be here today. Like Sarah said, we are the Washington Food Coalition. I'm Andra Smith, the Executive Director, and I have with me here today, Kyla Tucker, who is our Manager of Membership and Education. And together we are the Washington Food Coalition. We're a two-man team. We have a couple of contracted support professionals that support us, but we are here to support our members. We are a membership organization made up of food banks, food pantries, meal programs, partners, and stakeholders across the state, and we work to connect people together to strengthen the Hunger Relief Network. So a little bit of what we do. A large focus of what we do currently is a lot of training and learning. We support that through workshops and courses. We listen to what the needs of the community and our membership in the state, what's happening, and if there's a need or support or people that need to know more about something that's coming up. That's really where we get a lot of ideas for our trainings. We also provide technical assistance to build our organizational capacity. That can be anything from needing support finding some federal or state documents to I need help finding a way to purchase certain foods. So we're here to help and support whatever that need may be. And then we also work on convening and connecting people together. We bring together organizations across the state share their purpose and their work and how we can support and connect each other. And we also do that a lot. We do that also through advocacy. We really come together as one unified voice to advocate for hunger relief at the state and local level. We also are working on building that work to how we can support individual organizations and being their advocate in their local community. We also create space for shared learning. Something that we have learned and we are hearing a lot about is the need for just peer-to-peer space to exchange ideas, get to know each other, finding food banks, that have similar size, scope, and need, how they can connect and help each other and support each other.
Hi, I'm going to share some examples of the work that we do, some concrete examples. As Andra said, I'm Kyla, and I do our education and training. Some of the work that we do is with some contractors. So we have a nutrition expert and a kind of like a nonprofit and safety health consultant. And they are both leading different cohorts that have been meeting throughout the year. For nutrition, we've been working on a backpack project to create some resources for folks to kind of implement some healthier options into those weekend bags that might go home with students throughout the school year. We're also having a safety cohort that meets regularly. This safety cohort has had trainings on pallet jack and forklift driving awareness to food safety. And so these cohorts have been meeting throughout the year to kind of share peer learnings, learn best practices, and then take that information and disseminate it to others across the state. In addition to that, we do some like one-off trainings. As you know, there have been a lot of changes to SNAP. So we've had some recent trainings on how folks can best support their communities with those changes and those who have been impacted by those. We've also done a public funding leadership series. So a series focused on how can you be good stewards of public funding? What does risk look like? Compliance? How can you be a responsible steward? And then just yesterday, we had a training on kind of storytelling and sharing about your impact beyond quantitative data. So how can you do some storytelling and identify some really important qualitative data to share with maybe stakeholders and funders? So we do kind of trainings across the board that range in topic areas. And then I'll share a little bit more about this in a bit, but I think something to lift up for this group is our annual conference. So every year we have a 3-day conference, and that's a convening of folks who work in the Hunger Relief Network, but also producers, growers, sellers, everything. So we'll share a little bit more about that in a bit. Oh, muted, Andra.
Yeah. Hold on, where'd those lines come from? So where gleaning fits in with the work that we do. Reducing food waste is something that has been on the minds of people for a long time, and I'm sure this network is well aware and works hard in that scope. And also in recent years, just that increase in nutrition, and especially at that hunger relief level, those people that are doing the great work in the communities. So gleaning plays an important part of that. And I just want to give a little example. Up until about, 9 weeks ago, I was the executive director of the Sequim Food Bank out here on the North Olympic Peninsula. And I was in that space for 10 years. And I got to see our gleaning network grow in those 10 years. In the beginning, when I first started, just that collaboration with the gleaning network out here and food banks was just really beginning and growing. I got to see that grow into where now gleaning is an essential part food bank and food pantry work. We really rely on that produce that comes in during the growing season to help support, our community. Especially, we played a really nutrition became a really big focus in the work that was happening in food banks and pantries. So being able to have that fresh produce coming in, what started as home gleans, people just bringing their, apples and other, things that were in abundance in their home gardens, to where focusing also on farm gleans, collaborating with our local farm community and creating farm gleans in the network. And so that's where it really became great for us. And now, even working over those 10 years, we have a food bank in our network now that has that capacity and space to bring that excess food in and process it. So now food banks and pantries can have that food outside of season now because we're able to process that. So the Gleaning Network is huge and plays a huge role in the work that happens every day in food banks and food pantries. And I know that most of the people in this space already know that, but I really wanted to thank you for the work that you do, because coming from someone who was in that, on the ground, helping the community every day, it was so important to have that collaboration and coordination with the Gleaning Networks in the communities. Another thing that we do is we every year present a Fresh Results Award, and that Fresh Results Award, that is where we highlight the great work that's happening between food banks and food pantries. It's a nominated process. Food banks and pantries across the state nominate local farms that they work with, that they have a great relationship with, and the work that's happening in really innovative and collaborative ways. And every year at our conference, we are able to present a farm in the state that's doing that great work.
All right. So we'll move on to how folks can connect with us. There are a lot of folks in the room who are members and who are closely connected with us. So I will say feel free to jump in if you all have anything to add. Of course, you can become a member. We have a sliding scale membership. We have food pantries and food banks, but then we also have associate members who are partners in the community. Of course, we invite you to attend events and trainings. They're free to attend the trainings and workshops that we offer. I'll talk a little bit more about the conference in a second. Would love for you to join our newsletter. We send that out about bi-weekly, definitely monthly, and then also a quarterly newsletter that shares kind of happenings around the state, important meetings, and the trainings that we're offering, as well as funding opportunities. We try to include those. And of course, you can reach out to Andra or I if you have any questions. Just want to mention to save the date if you're interested in attending the conference. It'll be September 23rd through the 25th at the Kitsap Convention Center in Bremerton, Washington. One-day tickets are available, or you can come for the whole thing. Last year, I think we had a session on how food banks and food pantries can be partners, be really good partners to farmers and gleaning networks. I think, Sarah, maybe you either spoke at that or you led the session. I know Harvest Against Hunger plans several tours and sessions for us, so there are opportunities that you all might be interested in. Registration for that will open soon, and we'll have some hotel blocks as well. Anything that I'm forgetting around that, Andra? Or other folks in the room who have attended far more times than I have?
I can just say from a personal experience, as I always looked forward and made sure that I went to the conference. It is a great way to connect with people, to learn and understand, and it is a space where people come and want to help each other. People share ideas, share contacts, share best practices, and really want to support and lift up each other in the work that's happening. And I have always come away from that conference invigorated with new ideas and ready to do things.
With that, just want to say thanks again. I'll echo what Andra said. Thank you for the work that you all do. Thank you for having us here today. And we're happy to answer any questions if you have any. And in the meantime, I'm going to pop the link to sign up for our newsletter in the chat.
Thank you, guys. And I appreciate y'all being really succinct. I know like these meetings are fairly short, but I definitely am so appreciative of y'all leaving some space for Q&A because I know you guys got questions. So just wanted to open the floor up for anyone who has any questions. You can either unmute yourself, pop on your screen, or drop it in the chat, whatever works for you.
Okay, ask a question. So my name is Rachel Beeson. I'm the food manager at Kitsap Community Resources, and we do a couple of really cool projects and run some really awesome contracts. So we do Meals on Wheels within the county, and we feed our Head Starts within the county. And then I have this really great soup project that I work in tandem with the Food Bank Coalition here in Kitsap. And I was hoping that there would be more of them on the call this morning so I could kind of bridge an introduction and relationship to Greg Bovan, who's a wonderful human being and runs a couple of grocery outlets in the area, and he's looking to connect with some places that could consistently come in and see his waste stream, which isn't really waste. It's just some wilty greens here and there, you know. But I would like to open up and kind of just give Greg the floor to maybe ask any questions he might have. You're muted, Greg.
Is Greg on?
Yeah, you're muted.
Great.
Oh, we're muted, Greg.
It says Steven's iPhone and it's muted. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or yeah.
Yeah, how's that? Is that better?
Yay.
Yay.
There we go.
Oh, sorry about that. I'm doing it on my iPhone, not my laptop. Sorry. It's I've had the great pleasure of working with KCR and a couple others, and it's more about getting the product out to the community, right? Like if it's going to be something that's unsellable to your average customer, but still of food service quality, maybe it's got a little wilty green or whatever, we're looking to have more partners in reducing that footprint and being able to get the food back into the community. That's kind of really all it is for us, is just making sure that people are getting fed.
Yeah. So, you don't work currently with a food bank or a food pantry in your area?
So South Kitsap Helpline, they just moved into their new facility, but they don't have their kitchen going yet.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a couple small churches that come in and grab some stuff, but they're doing like one meal a week or one meal a month or that. And Mercy Mobile was another one that we worked with, but I haven't seen them in a while. I don't know if they're offline now or what, but we do we do have a few partners that we try and work with, but you can imagine when you're culling produce 3 times a day or you have meat that is going to go out today and it's easy just to freeze and donate. It's always good to have as many partners as we can to help get that product out.
May I have an additional cashier up front, please? Additional cashier up front.
Cool. Food Lifeline has a grocery rescue program. I don't know if you're interested in tapping into that network.
Sure, love to. Have them reach out to us.
Yeah. So do you mind putting your contact in the chat or somewhere? Or Rachel, or somebody that?
Yeah, we can track it down.
Yeah, I know working on an iPhone is not the easiest. Zoom iPhone.
It would also be great to connect because our conference will be out there. So, lots of opportunities to kind of connect around that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sounds good. And our emails are really easy. It's just our store location then at Grocery Outlet. So Port Orchard at groceryoutlet.com or Belfair at groceryoutlet.com.
Okay.
And then, Rachel, hi, David from Harvest Against Hunger. And I know Diane Fish. She may be another person just to sort of bring into the conversation because she's so well connected as well.
I work in tandem with the conservation and Diane Fish, and Greg has more product than we can physically work through.
Okay.
I'm producing a decent 5,000 pints of soup a month within my capacity back to all of our area food banks. If I had more funding and more hands, I could quadruple that. However, the current state of affairs, I don't have that access, right? What we're looking for to help Greg with is him and his team really, really care about making sure that waste doesn't hit the dumpster. Because there's no need to do that. And he's quite literally one of the only grocers in the area that cares about that. I've approached every corporate chain, and it's a hard no, because they don't want you to know how much they're wasting, right? Greg and his wife Deanne have done such a beautiful job at sharing their wealth instead of just using a tax write-off. But it's the logistics of connecting people and keeping consistency in pickups. So I was hoping with it being the coalition that everybody would be here today, but it doesn't look like everybody's here. So I was hoping I could connect, the food line, the fish line, CK, just everybody, so we could kind of coordinate, but it looks like it's going to need to be a mass email instead of face-to-face.
So Rachel, I know at one point there was a Kitsap Coalition meetings. Are they not meeting?
They haven't been for a minute. And I would imagine, one is loss of funding. Everybody's scrambling to do what they can with what we have. And it's difficult to connect in stressful times. Everyone's kind of pivoting with the loss of SNAP benefits and trying to figure it out for everyone. And I'm not sure when their next meeting is, and this one was sooner, so I figured that everybody would be on this one too, but it didn't work out that way.
That's great. We can definitely send the word out, and Greg, get your contact info out to, our folks that we have out in that area to see to support that, because I don't like to see that.
Yeah. Hey, Andrea, if you could plug me into that as well. We may have some, I have some thoughts, and I want to get the meeting back over to Sarah and her agenda, but link me in, and there are a couple of partners here in the Seattle area that may have some capacity for that.
Perfect. Okay, thanks. Thank you, David. And thank you, Rachel, for bringing it up.
Yep.
Anyone else that has any other questions, feel free to pop in. I definitely have some thoughts about, you guys were mentioning earlier about how you kind of do qualitative data storytelling. And I'm really curious about that because, we've been talking sort of as gleaners, and at the AGO conference, we talked about this too, about how, the numbers are really important. And at the same time, we also need to have more qualitative, a balance of, quantitative and qualitative. And so, curious about what you guys do with that. And it's a big question, but yeah.
Yeah, I can jump in. We've had a couple of speakers and trainers come and talk about different resources for doing that. And so I'd be happy to share those. And we have a recording from yesterday, so I can send that along maybe as an option.
Wonderful.
Yeah, no, I just was going to just highlight the training we had yesterday, the ripple effects mapping training. I don't know how many people are familiar with that, but it is a wonderful process to collect stories and impact that your food banks and pantries or whatever, what you're doing to support the community. It's a great way to do that. And if you're interested in the recording, I will make sure Oh, thank you. I will make sure to put our emails in the chat so you can reach out to Kyla or I and, get a copy of that so you can kind of understand. There's also a downloadable workbook or just guide to ripple mapping so you can do it in your own community. Oh, thanks, Kyla.
That would be amazing. And I'll be sending out a newsletter like next week with kind of a recap from this meeting and the recording, but also I can include those resources as well and everything we sort of shared in here. So very excited to do that. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I will second, third, fourth ripple effects mapping. I mean, so many of the things that we do as an organization here at Harvesting and Center, including this Gleaning Network, are because of ripple effects mapping that we've done now 3 times, I believe. And it's a nice way to, I know we all have limited resources, but it's a really nice way to show the extended impact of like what seemed like small investments at the time that turn out to be the ones with the greatest ripples throughout the community over the course of years. So anyway, and the person that does it, I'm looking at you, Stephanie, because she's from your area. Deborah, it's a brilliant model, and I really look forward to seeing how that gets applied across the Food Coalition.
Yeah.
Well, here's just to throw in an idea, because I sat in on that yesterday, and I know Deborah, she's a few blocks from me. And perhaps it's been presented at the conference in previous years, but that would be an excellent speaker, or for the, gleaners together. I mean, that is one time when we're all coming together and a number of us are seeing one another.
Yeah, it actually might be, and we are so far off topic, Sarah, but it might be an interesting session at the, no, Stephanie, don't cover your mouth. It was me. It would be a really interesting session to do like a live mini ripple effects mapping where it was a very specific like group or subgroup that we could show Deborah in action, because I think once you see it, you're like, oh, I get it. I get how this is valuable. Yeah. So, and if anybody wants help reaching out to Deborah, let me know.
I think that's a great idea. Kylie, you got it on the list now?
I could just go talk to her and invite her. So are you saying you would like her to speak and be at the conference in action with a small group demonstrating ripple effects mapping?
Man, I think that would be awesome. Yeah.
Okay.
But that's just me. I'm just like one voice, so.
No, well, I mean,
100%.
David and I have talked about it before. We're on team ripple effects mapping. So I was on. I'm not going to tell the story. Go ahead. Go, Sarah. Go.
I was just agreeing. Feel free. I'm like, yes. Agreed. 100%.
Any other questions or comments? I don't want to take all your time.
Oh my gosh, speaking of Diane Fish.
Yeah, Diane Fish just entered, so.
There she is. Oh, Diane, we were just talking about you. All good things. So it's lovely to see you there. See you here. We were just talking about, oh, did she disappear? Did it? I don't know. The new Zoom thing confuses me. We were just talking about, ripple effects mapping and connection, in your area and all of that stuff. So happy you were able to pop in.
Well, I'm going to go off camera because I'm in the car. So I'm
no
still
problem
here.
At all. Yeah. So again, opening the floor, anyone who's interested in questions, we have, maybe 10, 15 minutes left in this chat that we can do. So whatever you guys are interested in talking about, we're happy to be part of it, because I think that's a big part of these meetings. We've talked to the folks from WFC, and they've been really wonderful about, understanding that this is a great place to learn, but also at the same time a great place to have conversations. So whatever y'all want to talk about.
Well, I'd like to take a second, since Diane is on the call, and this just makes things much easier. So I invited Greg Bovan from the grocery outlets to this meeting, thinking that there would be a whole lot more of the coalition here, like Corey and Brandy and Chris Benson, but they're not here. And I was trying to quickly coordinate Greg with all of them, because his surplus of goods is more than we can handle. Kitsap Harvest hasn't been very consistent in picking their donations up, and he's looking for a more reliable donation spot. So who should I send him to?
Is this just South Kitsap?
Are you doing Belfair as well? He's on mute. Hold on.
Yeah.
I can do Belfair as well. Yeah.
Okay. Because they're right across the street.
Yeah, I'm happy to include North Mason then, or Belfair.
Okay.
Okay, so you're looking for somebody to pick up, do grocery rescue there?
Yeah, so a lot of times in the produce, we have a fairly high standard of what we want going to the consumer. So we'll pull cauliflower that might have a little bit of yellowing on the greens or stuff like that. And it's perfectly good food service quality where someone could turn it into some sort of meal prep. And I just need a little help in getting it into the stomachs of the community and not into the dumpsters.
Correct.
Oh,
So with my schedule,
know,
with my schedule and my staffing currently, we could probably do a once a week swing by again, but I don't think we could do an everyday swing by. There's no way we would be able to make that work.
North Mason sends a truck to Bremerton every Tuesday morning at 8 a.m.
Love it.
So
what I love.
if it were, and here's the thing, North Mason, if like something like yellowing on the leaves, they can go ahead and like trim the leaves and put that out for clients. So is North Mason currently doing grocery rescue pickup at your location?
They do some, but not they do more of the grocery stuff, but not so much of the produce.
Let me reach out to Tara and see if she has somebody that can do it. I'm assuming you want daily pickup.
Every other day is fine, right? I understand that every day is a lot, right? But at least 2 or 3 times a week. That way you're getting it and being able to use it. It's a lot fresher, right? I don't want something that's 5 days old and now it's no good to you guys either. And now you're having to get rid of it, and that's not good either.
Yeah. Okay. I'll connect with Tara. I do know that there is a group in North Kitsap that has been doing some meal prep. They're up on Bainbridge Island, though, and I don't know if they have the capacity to do more. One of the challenges that we've had is moving food around the county. Now, as of the end of June, we will have Harvest Vista that can assist with that. In fact, I have a couple of really great applicants that have come in, and I'm excited about the possibilities there. And so we could, leverage that person to provide support for other organizations that are doing processing.
Right.
Rachel, have you heard of Jeremy's doing processing yet, or are they still working on that?
They're still working on that and do not know if it's going to come to fruition or not, but they're trying.
Okay.
But that's across the water too, so.
Yeah, but they're taking it. They're coming here, so they can take. They could. Yeah, they're coming and buying, or the food banks are buying from the Let Us Help Center, So
Right.
they're coming here. They're just not,
Working.
they're just not, the truck goes back empty. And that's one of the things we talked about.
Okay.
But we have to have someplace for it to go.
I wonder if Jeremy would be willing to swing by in Port Orchard then on his way. My concern there would be the waste here is feeding, and I call it that because, it's, in my opinion, it's not waste.
Right.
My concern there would be it's not feeding its immediate community. It's going back across the water for redistribution.
Rachel, I would 100% agree with you on that. As you know, working with Deanna and I, it really is for us about feeding our immediate community. I'm happy to help, but I would love nothing more than it to know that it's going right into here in North Mason or South Kitsap or Kitsap County in general.
Right. Is South Kitsap still coming and picking up from you weekly?
Billy comes every day, but he's picking up more dry goods, grocery stuff. Like they don't have their kitchen facility done yet, so they're in the new spot, the old restaurant, and they just don't have the kitchen done yet. So it'll be a while for them to get into the food prep side of it.
Okay. What day is best for you for pickup right now?
It kind of would be varied on what can work for you guys, because I have my produce lead and my managers that are always there. My produce lead works 6 days a week in Port Orchard, so she's always there except for Sunday. So just setting up the time is all you need to do.
Okay.
Because you remember how we have that shelf. We have that shelf in the produce cooler that's marked specifically for the food banks and the kitchens.
Okay.
Hey, if I may, we're getting close to time here. This has been great. It also reminds me that there are people on the call from elsewhere in the state, and there are grocery outlets located all around the state. And I wonder if there might be a way to work up through grocery outlet. And I know the decision making is all based on the store and store ownership and so forth. Are there folks that we within this group might talk to about their central distribution hub and maybe finding ways to make sure that all the grocery outlets across Washington are better connected to hunger relief organizations for that kind of grocery rescue that you're talking about? I mean, this is a great example of how it needs to, like a lot of logistics need to get figured out for this to work in communities. But, if we can do it at one or two grocery outlets, I'd love to see it happen, at all of them, because it's a great source of potential food for communities.
Well, and I do know that one of the things the Silverdale Grocery Outlet has done is they are letting Central Kitsap order directly through their system as well. So Grocery Outlet has been an amazing partner.
Yeah,
wholesale ordering.
St. Vincent de Paul orders from us as well, and so does South Kitsap Helpline. It is a lot of the stores do offer discounts too, right? If food banks are ordering from them, they'll knock 10% or 5% off or whatever they can, right? To help get it out to the community. But most of the grocery outlet owners are pretty committed to trying to get food back into the community.
Mm-hmm. So is there a way and Andrea, I'm looking at you with the wholesale idea. So that's one thing that we talked about yesterday at the executive committee meeting. But is there a point of contact for grocery outlet to talk more broadly about,
like a regional person?
Yeah.
Or something?
Yeah.
Because those are, if I understand correctly, grocery outlets are franchised or businesses.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's what's called a modified franchise. So there is a central warehouse that is in Oregon, actually, and then there's a refrigerated warehouse here in Tacoma. I can't honestly speak about what GOI does with their warehouse stuff. I can literally only tell you what I do and what I know some of my, my neighboring stores do. Like I said, because most of the people do really try to give back into the community. I would imagine that the DCs have a program that they do something with. I would be pretty shocked to know if they just threw it in the dumpster. I would hope not.
Yeah.
But it would be, let me reach out to a couple of the regional people and the warehouse manager and
Great.
see what they got going.
Yeah, that would be terrific, and happy to. Sorry, Andrew. Between the two of us, we'd love to follow up on that because, like I said, I know grocery outlets are all across Washington State. And it would be great to have that as a really plugged-in resource, regardless of the community.
Yeah, and coming from that food bank space, I mean, we worked closely. There was one in Squam, it closed, but then there's one in Port Angeles that we work with too, and same thing. We could order from them. They would give us a discount. We would also pick up from them daily. Or a couple of times a week. So they, but it was something that was done at the store level. Because they are individually, owned or franchise-like. So, but this is a great opportunity. Thanks. I'm really glad the conversation came up in Kitsap, and now it's something that we can hopefully do across the state. Thanks. No, I love it when things like this happen.
Same. I was going to say same. It's so exciting that, once we all kind of get in a room together and start having conversations, we're like, oh, we do that too. Or I know somebody over here that does it. And fantastic.
I have a friend that calls it pollinating, since we're a Google network.
I like this.
Taking some information and giving it to somebody else to help grow. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's a beautiful term. I love that. But we have like 2-ish minutes left. I want to respect everyone's time, but happy to continue conversations, or like if you guys haven't already done it, feel free to send like a direct message or put in the main chat to try to connect in the future as well. Like we'll do a call at this time, here's my email, that kind of thing. Because it's always great to continue these kind of conversations. Am I missing anything else? Is there anything you guys want to close with, or
I would just ask Rachel if you can make sure that Andra and maybe Sarah and I have the contact information. We can just kind of keep this conversation going. Perfect. Thank you.
Currently typing a quick email, making sure I'm looping in Porter and Belfair Grocery Outlet, and then I have to look through my email list and find North Mason's food bank email, and then I'll rope Diane in as well, you David and you Andrea, and then hopefully we can get some forward motion here and solidify. So I was picking up twice a week, but I lost my grant funding, and then was like, okay, we have this other organization in the community, let me pass this off to you, and they were utilizing it, and to my knowledge they slowly but consistently stopped coming. Am I correct there, Greg? Okay.
Yeah, that's correct.
And I was unaware of that. They didn't give me that information. I had no idea that even happened. So now that I know, it's time to get through all the slew of people and find who will actually be consistent and utilize it more. And I did get some grant applications in, fingers crossed that some funding comes back down the road. We'll see. They were all competitive, so you never know if it's going to happen or not. But our county loves our soup project and has built a little bit of a sponsorship program for it, but those contracts are not signed yet, so I can't really promise anything until those contracts are signed. And if that does come to fruition, and I don't want to speak too soon, but if it comes to fruition, I will absolutely start coming at least once a week to start grabbing stuff. But my resources are so tight that I do what I can.
Yeah.
But hopefully this all comes through and we can get someone consistent in there again, because that would be really great.
The other side of it for us too is when we have these relationships, we try and do a fair amount of social media behind it to let the community know that these programs are out there. And the reason why Deanna and I push that so hard is we currently sit between 300 and 315,000 engagements a month on social media. So that's a pretty good chunk. And if we can let that many people know, hey, there's a program out there where people are getting fed, that's the whole point of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so glad you guys have had a chance to talk, and I'll make sure and share all that stuff out when I send out the newsletter here. I'm so sorry we're like a minute or two over time, so sorry to cut you off, but I'm so glad you guys had a chance to chat, and thank you again, Andra and Kyla, for coming and talking to us today. So y'all have a wonderful rest of your week, and feel free to reach out if you need anything at all.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. Hope to hear from you guys soon.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Bye all. Thanks.